Alright, I know my friend is here somewhere. Seriously. I don't know why he would go missing and decide to come to some sort of weird summer camp, but let's go this way, and I guess I'll wait at the camp until it gets later, because I'm sure I'll be able to find him then. Alright, I'm going to do the smart thing, what a smart person would do in this scenario. I just went to some place I've never been. I just slept in the place by myself. A spooky place, seemed kind of haunted, and now I'm going to do the right thing and try to find my friend. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to call the police. No, why would I want to call the police or have somebody try to help me find him? I'm going to go out into this place in the middle of the woods on my own by myself with no weapons. Seriously, what's the worst that could possibly happen? Well, I'm dead. Everybody, it's me, Nate, aka Devil Dog, and I'm back with another video. I just went and seen the Until Dawn movie. I'm going to say that this is going to be a spoiler-free review up until a certain part, and then I'll tell you from that part on. So if you want to go see this movie, don't worry, I'll let you know when I'm going to start doing spoilers. This movie was directed by David F. Sandberg, and I think he's known for doing the Shazam movies, and it had a $15 million budget on it. And basically, it is I can't even say a loose adaptation to the award-winning video game. I think, honestly, the only thing it has in common with the Until Dawn video game itself is the fact the name of Until Dawn and some of the monsters from the game are in this movie. But to me, honestly, this movie is really... It's hard to place it, really. The overall plot consists of a group of 5 teenagers, older age teenagers, that go out basically back to the general area where the one main character's sister is missing. Now, they're not going to try to find her, they're just going to try to make amends for the fact that even though they've never found her, that she's gone. And when they're there, they get trapped in this loop-de-loop of weird stuff. And basically, this is where the movie itself kind of ends up being something that takes on its own identity by just stealing other movies' work. It basically, to me, is got so many aspects of a Happy Death Day to it, you know, like a Groundhog Day effect. It also made me think of several other movies as well, like Cabin in the Woods and also Silent Hill. And it's like a hodgepodge of all these different ideas from the video games and other movies mashed together in this movie that, don't get me wrong, it's still entertaining. It's not a terrible movie. If it's $15 million budget, it's visually quite well done. The sets are really drab, dreary, and really disgusting. The monsters that are in it are actually really cool looking. The main bad guy killer from the Until Dawn game is in this, and he's a total badass, and it's got massive amounts of gore, a good amount of gore. All practical. I mean, I'm sure some's been digitally altered, but most of it looked like practical effects. And basically, these kids are stuck here, and they have 13 nights to basically survive until dawn. Because when they get there, they can't figure out why, but there's like a ledger with people's names in it. And each one gets sloppier and sloppier and sloppier. And basically, the whole premise of this movie, in this particular sense, is that these 5 kids that are trapped in this area have to end up surviving until dawn. And one by one, they keep getting killed. And, basically like Happy Death Day and Groundhog Day. I was going to end up calling it Happy Dead Groundhog in the Woods Day movie, because that's what it kind of reminded me of, with like Silent Hill aspects too. And I'll get into that in the spoilers section. But naturally, you have these kids that, as they keep dying, they kind of sort of recollect what had previously happened. They know that they died, and they restart over. And each time each night happens, it's different things trying to kill them. So it's not the same thing in a loop like Groundhog Day. They mix it up a bit, and this is where the aspect of the cabin in the woods idea comes into play, because like each time the new night sets and these kids are trying to survive, it's like a different thing out to kill them almost each and every single time, which is quite intriguing. But it has really no plot to it. That's really the whole plot, is them there and trying to survive until dawn, and keep dying and coming back Groundhog Day style. And honestly, if you're a huge fan of the game, I can guarantee that you're going to be very, very disappointed with this. This to me is almost like throw everything from all these tropes of other movies together and throw in some special guest stars up until dawn. Here's these guys and here's this guy, yay! But for the most part, they could have actually came up with some different character designs and just called this a different movie. Honestly, the name of using Until Dawn on this, I can see why a lot of people are going to be pissed off, because one of the main aspects of the Until Dawn video game was the ability that once a character died in your group, they were permanently dead until the end of the game. And this kind of deviates from the main plot of Until Dawn. The main point, the main thing in Until Dawn, the game, was the fact that it was like an interactive movie that if people died, they stayed dead. But in this one, it's not. This one is like, okay, there's 5 of you. Once you're all dead and the night resets, you come back alive again and you keep getting killed over and over. So it has some nice aspects to it. But like I said, if they would have just not had the Until Dawn monsters in it and just had new monsters and called it something else, I think people probably wouldn't have a problem with this movie. Even though, like I said, it's not original at all. It steals so many ideas from so many other movies. But before I get to the spoilers, before people stop, if you don't want to hear the spoilers and save yourself $14+ and just wait till this comes out on like a streaming service, I will tell you this right now. As long as you're not wanting it to be like the game and you just go in to have a fun time watching a splatterfest classic horror movie, you won't have a problem with it, because it honestly, these characters, none of them are really that likable. They have their character tropes, you got the one snarky guy, you got the one lady who's kind of psychic and stuff like that, but there's no real good character. You really don't cheer these people on, and the way they act are stupid. They do the classic things like, instead of sticking together, let's split up and go different places. It reminds me of that Geico commercial. You know this one?
No, in the basement. Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Fart. Yeah.
If you're in a horror movie, you make poor decisions. It's what you do.
But yeah, it reminds me of the Geico commercial, really, because there are some funny parts in it, and there are some jump scares. Fortunately, not a bunch of jump scares, and some of the jump scares are actually pretty decent done in it. Honestly, I found it was an entertaining movie. I did kind of like it, but it's highly unoriginal. It steals the source material from other movies and doesn't really have a good plot. It doesn't really explain itself either. Now, at this point, I don't really think this is even going to be spoilers, but I am going to point out some certain parts. From this point on, if you don't want to know about this, stop the video right here. And come back later after you've seen the movie if you plan to see it. But Until Dawn has some main issues I have with it. The fact of the matter, it has some really cool aspects in it, even at the very beginning. They're going to this town, and they go to this building, and they get stopped at this building because of this really, really weird rain. That's like a massive storm that you can't see, but once you get to the building, in the middle of the storm, it's like it's clear and it's not raining. And the rainstorm is pretty much like a thing that traps them there, because this whole part is they claim this area is cursed. They never get into the detail of saying how the hell it was cursed, but this is where the aspect of different movies come into play. First of all, it's got the main killer, which we all know from the Until Dawn video game, was actually one of the characters, one of the people you play as, who was doing that on purpose to mess with them until they found out about the Wendigos that showed up, ancient Native American monsters that were people that were mutated over time, and then that's where the game shifts, and you know, first half of it, you're trying to avoid this killer, and you find out the killer ain't really a real killer, it's your buddy just fucking with you. So the aspect right there, the killer in this is a killer. And they never explain any backstory, who he is, where he is, and why he has got Jason-like qualities of like being super strong and brutally murdering people. So that's one red flag there, is they create this character like a Jason character, but there's no backstory of why in this particular version of the movie he's in there. But they're trapped there, and they realize that when this hourglass turns, they have to survive until dawn. The last of the sand falling through the hourglass in order to escape the place, apparently. And it centers on the fact of this town. Now, this is where they steal ideas from Silent Hill and Cabin in the Woods. Each and every single time they're attacked by a different creature or monster. That reminds me of parts from Cabin in the Woods, because there's this doctor, the psychotherapist doctor, who has actually been watching them as this happens, almost like, like a scientific study or something. And, so you got this aspect of like someone from the outside looking in as this shit happens to these kids. And that reminded me of Cabin in the Woods right there. So you got your Michael Myers ripoff with the main killer. You got the Cabin in the Woods style monster setup. And then you have this lore that they don't go major into, but it's this lore about the town that apparently the miners dug too deep and too far underneath the town, which caused the whole town to implode in sinkhole, killing everybody and cursing the area. So that's how they come up with these really kind of cool ideas that you open this front door and it's a mine shaft, or the windows, it's dirt because the whole town sunk into the ground. And this doctor that's there, it's really kind of weird. The doctor is really there almost like the psychotherapist from the game, but this guy's a sick doctor here. He's personally just watching people rot, because the longer you stay there, because as long as you can be there, it's 13 days, because each one who signs their name in the book, each time it gets sloppier because they get more ragged and they start turning into Wendigos. They never explain why the people start turning into Wendigos, which is another loophole I have a problem with. Yes, I know this ain't going to be like a real award-winning movie, but the plot is really kind of haphazard and stupid. So they steal lore ideas similar to Silent Hill, that this area is cursed, and once you go there, you're trapped until you fight against your demons. Because the doctor even says all these monsters and people that are attacking you are representations you've come up with to punish you. So basically, I guess the guy with the mask in it is their version of Pyramid Head in this. So they steal the lore idea and the mental trap aspect from Silent Hill. They steal the monster ideas from the setup and stuff from Cabin in the Woods, and then you have this supernatural aspect with the Wendigos and the fact that there's actually a witch there and all this weird ghost-like shit happens, like with the monsters. You go in like a haunted attic where this chair's rocking itself, and they never explain anything about this supposed curse of the area or why you turn into a Wendigo. The only thing they do is some haphazard bullshit with the doctor, having the one main character, who went back to find her sister, basically trying to say that all this is because of her. All these monsters are manifestations of her inner grief and suffering. So honestly, it's a really, really bad plotted movie if you think about it. This one, I would say, if you go there, don't play the game. Don't expect it to be like the game. Go in, have a couple beers. Just look at it as a stupid slasher flick where people are getting brutally murdered, because it has a terrible plot. The pacing, I actually liked the first half of it, but then after that, it just kind of starts slowing down until the very end crescendo, as I would call it. But it has none of the aspects that made Until Dawn the game in this. It has its own hodgepodge of using enemies from the game, and that's about it. The mechanic of them dying and coming back is nothing more than straight out of like I said, Happy Death Day. It's basically Happy Death Day with like a Cabin in the Woods meets Silent Hill. And it's really what it is. Hands down, like I said, if you don't mind waiting until this comes on a streaming service, I can recommend you check it out there. Just do not take it seriously. Do not try to figure out if it's got a plot. It's got hardly no plot, no character development. All it is really cool sets, really cool monsters, and gore. That's really about the only thing good I can say about this movie. And they even had the balls at the end to show a little quick snippet that makes it like they have a sequel planned. You know, like the actual, like this was a prequel to the Until Dawn game, or the Quarry. I think it ties it into the Quarry or something at the end. But in the end, I actually cannot recommend this. I can say save your money, wait until you get a discount, wait until you see it on a streaming service. It's still worth checking out. But if you go into this loving the game, you're going to absolutely hate this movie. This was Nate, aka Devil Dog. I want to thank each and every single one of you, especially the people that stayed till the very end. Please subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up, leave lots of comments below. Do you love the game Until Dawn? Have you seen this movie yet? Do you agree or disagree with me? Leave in the comments below. And of course, here at Devil Dog Gaming, we always end our videos by saying, have fun, play hard, and remember people, the devil is in the details. Peace out until next time.